Okay, it's time to get real. Hey guys, it's day 8 of my 30-day Slique experiment, and maybe it's because today is my oldest son's 16th birthday and I'm a little emotional. Maybe because it's been gray and rainy this week and I haven't been able to work outside, which is my preferred way of getting things done. I don't know what it is, but today I need to talk about this. Why do we gain the weight back? Why does that happen? If that's never happened to you, it's certainly happened to somebody you know. We either are the person or we know people who have gone to so much trouble to lose weight and get fit only to eventually gain the weight back. I am that person. Now, if you've watched my other videos, you know my history with food. You know that I struggled with an eating disorder in my teens, and then after I had kids, I dropped it like a hot potato and never went back to it. I feel incredibly blessed for that. But on the flip side, I began to use food for comfort after I had kids. I stopped being afraid of it, and it became my best friend. So even though I never had trouble losing weight after my pregnancies, I never got back down to, the weight that I should be for my height, but I maintained still a healthy weight, one that was comfortable for me, one where I felt like I enjoyed fashion and I looked good in my clothing and I was happy with my body. Then I got sick and I gained weight. Then I got healthy and I lost weight, and that's my story until about 5 years ago. And 5 years ago brought some really tough times for my family. And I had to return to the workforce full-time after having been a stay-at-home mom or work-at-home mom since my oldest was born. And it was hard. I had a lot going on. I was stressed all the time. My relationships weren't good. It was just a hard time. And even though I maintained a real food diet, I began to allow myself to take comfort in food, and here we are, 60 pounds overweight, long story short. But why did that happen? I know that I looked better and felt better and was even healthier when I was at a healthy weight. Why did I gain the weight back? What made it so hard for me to not use food for comfort? Well, we all have our things, right? So for some people, it's drugs and alcohol. For others of us, it's food. Do I compare it to an addiction? No, because I think that does a disservice to those who are addicted to substances such as drugs and alcohol. Their struggle, in my opinion, is more intense and much more dangerous. But the truth is, many of us go on a diet, we get fit, we change ourselves on the outside, but we never change on the inside. And that's what happened to me. Even though I got healthy, even though I discovered real food, even though I cut out processed food, even though I lost 50 or more pounds, I never learned how to cope with just the everyday annoying struggles without using food for comfort. So while you're on a diet and you're losing weight, you're kind of on a high. If you've ever lost weight on a diet, you know what I mean. You know what that feels like. You're losing weight. You don't want to mess it up. You're great. You have a goal to get to. You've scrounged up the motivation. You are moving forward. Everything is lovely. It is easy to say no to chocolate cake when you know you're going to wake up the next morning and the scale is going to be lighter. You know you're going to put on a pair of jeans that you've just purchased in 3 sizes smaller than your starting point, and that feels good, and that is all you need to keep your brain happy and keep that dopamine flowing and to feel great about life. But what happens after the weight is lost, or when you get halfway to your goal and your motivation starts to fade a little? What happens then? What happens when you've met your goal and everyday life starts to creep in? Because life never stays the same. So maybe you start your diet when you're living on Easy Street, and then something happens, a job loss, a death in the family, divorce, you get sick, someone you love gets sick, your dog dies, I don't know, whatever it is, life is always going to throw these things at us. And if we don't change how we cope with what life throws at us, we're never going to keep the weight off. Because it's really easy to say, you know what, I deserve this chocolate cake today. And then we beat ourselves up tomorrow because we had chocolate cake yesterday. And then, maybe not this quickly, but eventually we're saying, who cares? And then you see, 3 pounds creep on, and then 3 pounds becomes 7 pounds, and then 7 pounds becomes 12 pounds, and so on and so forth. And then a year or two later, after you've done all that hard work, you look in the mirror, you step on the scale, and there you are again. Right where you started. How do we get there? For me, it was not being prepared ahead of time for how I would cope with life's downs. Because the ups are easy, right? It's the downs that get us. So, before you start your weight loss plan, ask yourself, what are you going to do when it's over? What's the plan for stress eating or emotional eating after you've lost the weight? What are you going to do? So, I waited to start the Slique program until a time when I sort of had a handle on those things. Now, no one ever has a complete handle on it. I will undoubtedly stress eat or emotional eat again in my life. But I have other things in place now that I can do. And I have a support system that I can go to when life gets crazy. Because it will. Because it always does. Because the smooth sailing parts of life, as wonderful as they are, and as many of them as I've been fortunate enough to have, they don't represent the totality of life. So, here are some things that I do instead of eating, and some things that have made it easier for me to get through these past 8 days without snacking. First, of course, the Citrus Slim has really decreased my appetite and has been amazing. I can't say enough good things about it. But even if you're not using the Slique program, even if you're not using Citrus Slim, here are some things that I did. Now, you've got to find the things that work for you, so use my things as a sort of a jumping off point, because they might not resonate with you. For example, I like to play the piano. When I'm anxious about something, when I'm working on a big project, when I am nervous about something coming up in my life, I find that playing music really helps to soothe me. Painting is another thing that helps to soothe me. Writing does as well. So, having those creative outlets in place really helps to keep me from running to the kitchen to snack. Another huge thing for me has been planning my day. Now, I use an Erin Condren planner, and I'll put the link below. I've actually got a coupon code that you can use for $10 off of yours. And I have found that having my day laid out keeps me from snacking because I have something to fill in the time. If there's ever a time when I am bored, I am likely to fill that time slot with a snack that I'm not actually hungry for. So those are just a few things. It may be different for you. For you, it may be volunteering, it may be running, it may be, I don't know what it is, but you've got to find go-to things that will light up your brain and get the dopamine flowing so that you don't reach for chocolate or extra servings at dinner or comforting carbs whenever you need a pick-me-up. Guys, I hope that helped. You got the real, raw, unvarnished, unmade up, didn't do my hair version of me today, but I think that's so important for this journey. I've got to be me, and I can't hide the fact that I've lost weight and gained it back and am now trying to lose again and will be set up for the same problem of gaining it all back if I don't do something about the stress eating and my need to eat for comfort or to soothe anxiety. All I can do is be real, right? It's the best way to be. You get real, you can make changes in your life too. Thanks so much for watching today. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.